Motherhood can be absolutely isolating and we feel like we've lost ourselves. What are we going to do about it? Hey, hi, hello. I'm Candace. Welcome to Cultivating Cadence. Today we're going to talk about how moms can find themselves again in motherhood. It's been a while since I've been on here, so for those of you that need a refresher, I'm Candace. I am an LMFT, but this is not the space for therapy. This is a space for coaching moms so that they can find work-life balance, defeat burnout, and have the life that they love. This is so that moms can have work-life balance without sacrificing themselves or their families in the ideal way that suits their family. So today we're talking about how moms can find themselves in motherhood again. Navigating the early years of babyhood, of motherhood can be a lot. It can be overwhelming. I do have some notes, so if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. But I want to talk to you about how even though it's so easy to feel disconnected from ourselves in those early days of motherhood, when we look back at our pre-motherhood identity, it's like, where did she go? Where did that woman go? What am I doing now? I'm doing car runs. I am doing making all the lunches, making all the dinners. Like, what is going on here? And when there are some simple daily tasks we can do to maintain that sense of self that any working mom, stay-at-home mom, work from home mom, any kind of mom can do these daily tasks to feel connected with themselves. Now, why are the early days of motherhood so overwhelming sometimes? For a lot of us, we love being a mom. It's such a joy. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes my kids will do something and I'll be like, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Or yesterday I went to therapy and my son had to come with me because he wasn't at school. And just her reaction to just how adorable my little guy is was just like, oh, it's so sweet. And, watching them grow, it's so fun. And when moms talk about being overwhelmed, we are not talking about how we don't want to be moms anymore. That's not what anyone is saying. What we're saying is there is so much happening in the change of motherhood that it's overwhelming. Now, here's the deal. It doesn't matter how you become a mom. Some of these things will be specific to moms who actually, birth their own children, but a lot of these apply whether you've adopted, you're a foster mom, you have kids at different life stages. This is going to apply, and these little steps we can take are going to be able to help you feel more connected to yourself. The early days of motherhood can be overwhelming because motherhood changes so much. Okay? It's not just you. Motherhood changes so much. I really want you guys to understand that. Especially in those early days, no matter how the children come into your home, they drastically change the environment of the home. Typically for the best, it's in the best possible way, right? Our kids come in and they're little snuggly bugs, or, they're learning the lay of the land, whatever it is. And it also leaves moms disconnected from who they used to be because they are expected to be the ones to care for the children. And even if they are working from home, working out of the home, it doesn't matter. Moms are the primary caregivers. They still take the most time off of work. They are still spending more time with their children today than moms did decades ago when they stayed at home, right? So if you're a stay-at-home parent, that's even through the roof, right? With all of this pressure, it can feel like we're drowning sometimes. What have I gotten myself into? But it's in the sweetest way possible, right? And so for those that have entered motherhood by way of pregnancy, which I know to some people are yeah, that's how moms become moms. But no, we are still talking to moms who adopt, who foster, who come into this via blended family, right? But for those of us that come into motherhood by way of pregnancy, there are hormonal shifts. There's the postpartum recovery period. There are mental and emotional shifts. And those mental and emotional shifts typically happen for moms across the board, no matter how they become mothers, right? There's a lack of sleep if we bring a baby into our home. There's tiny human who constantly is attached to you when there is a baby in the home. And it's no wonder that we begin to feel a little less human at times, because all of our attention is devoted to this tiny human who needs everything from us, which is great because that's what we're here to do, right? We love it as moms. We love being this for our family. For every mom, there is a shift into motherhood, right? It comes with changes in schedule, changes in expectations, changes in lifestyle, changes in demands in what is expected of us, right? And the societal and cultural expectations just pile on top of that. And that's a lot to handle. So, why do people become moms, right? Like, oh, if you're going to complain about it, or oh, if it takes so much, why become a mom? Because we love it. Like, we want a family. We want to be moms. We have hard moments. Yes, we have hard days. We're trying to navigate this life with another human being that we are raising, right? But we love it. We wouldn't trade it for anything, right? Like, we would not trade it for anything, whether we stay at home, we return to work, whether we have a partner, or we do it solo. It's a title we wear proudly, right? One that is at the forefront of how we introduce ourselves to other people, right? It's at the forefront of how we interact with others. It's at the forefront of how we move through the world, right? I'm a mom, and that is a big part of me. But it's not the only part, right? And we already know this. A long-term partnership, getting married, that comes with an increased mental load. Motherhood, like 10x is that. We take on the mental load of the children that enter the home, and it usually goes to us and not the dad, right? So we do this because we love it, but it comes with changes in our social circles. It comes to changes in how we connect with other people. And, because we're at different, life stages than other people, right? One of my best friends that I've made recently, one of the closest friends that I've made recently, we connected because our kids are basically the same age and we understand what they're going through. We understand what our pre-Kers are going through. She understands what my kindergartner goes through because her first grader just went through it, right? Like, we have those connections. But still, I'm so thankful for those friends that have kids that are way ahead of mine. And I'm also thankful to keep the friends that have kids that don't have kids yet or who have new babies, right? And so if we pull away from connections, motherhood can be isolating. And that's not what we're going to do in 2025. We are going to lean into connections. But all of this adds up to us kind of feeling like we've lost ourselves, right? So what are some things that you can do in 10 minutes or less each day to feel more like yourself in motherhood again? Like, what are those things that you can just kind of pick up quickly and be like, oh, I remember her. I remember that girl. That's me. That's me. So I want to give you some quick wins. Quick wins are important because if we are so drowning, if we are so far removed from who we used to be, if we feel like I don't remember that girl anymore, quick wins help us find our way back to her. Quick wins help us find her voice again. Quick wins help us connect with our inner voice, our inner self, and they're a good way to get the ball rolling, right? So let's talk about them. Number one, listen to your favorite kind of music. If you're constantly listening to the wheels on the bus or other kinds of kids' music all the time, if you got Miss Rachel constantly in the background, no hate to Miss Rachel, we love her around here. But if that's all you've got playing, like you're separated from that music that makes you feel alive, that music that makes you feel like I love this music, it's really helpful for me. And that lets you feel like yourself again. Number two, spend time doing a favorite hobby. Or pick up a new hobby that you've always wanted to do, but you just never did. When we reconnect with hobbies that have been kind of, our home lives have kind of taken us away from those hobbies, right? Because we spend a lot of our time, we pour into our children, which is absolutely necessary. Don't get me wrong. But if you can take 10 minutes a day to connect with a hobby that you love to do, it really helps you feel like yourself again. It really goes a long way in really like connecting you with who you are, right? Especially if you pick up those hobbies that you've like never done before, but you've always wanted to do. Like this is so helpful. Number 3, dress for the day. Change clothes from your pajamas. Choose clothes that make you feel comfortable but confident, right? That's what we want. We want comfort and we want confidence. I know for me, I was not always good at this. Right after I had my son, I developed chronic illnesses. I was in my pajamas all the time. I didn't want to leave my bed. Like I barely made it from my bed to where I had to teach my classes when I was working. But dressing for the day made a huge difference in my mental wellness and my confidence. When I was like putting on clothes that I felt comfortable in, that I loved, I felt much more prepared to handle the day as a teacher, as a coach, as now even as a therapist. Like that has really helped me feel more ahead of the game. Number 4, call a friend, or if you want to go a little bit longer than 10 minutes, go hang out with a friend. Get offline connection. Motherhood can be isolating. Connecting with our friends brings us back to ourselves apart from that isolation, right? Centering ourselves with a friend, calling a friend, it can be really helpful. I spent a good hour on the phone with a friend of mine who lives far away this week, and it just did so much for me. My kids were just running around playing, and I was connecting to this other person, not on the internet, right? It was just nice to be like giving my attention. I think we're on number 5. Number 5 is fill your home with your favorite scents, right? Our sense of smell is one of our strongest scents that connects us to memory and just experiences. And so if you fill your home with your favorite scent, be it a candle, a wax warmer, a room spray, a diffuser with essential oils, it really gets us like reconnected with like these things that we love, right? It brings us a sense of calm and comfort. For me, it's like fall scents usually, which are hard to find this time of year, but like those are my favorites. And I also love lavender. My sister would not put lavender in her home to feel comfortable and confident. She just would not, because it like makes her sick, right? That's me with vanilla. Both my sisters love sugary vanilla-y scents, not me. Could not do it in my home, but put the ones in your home that make you feel like you, right? I think we're on number 6 now, mindful movements. So this one has less to do with us feeling ourselves, but feeling human again, feeling like we are a human being with a body that does what it's supposed to do. Whether it's taking a dance break, going for a walk, doing some sort of stretching or yoga, even for 10 minutes a day, makes such a big difference in our mental health. It keeps our body doing what it's supposed to be doing. And we get so caught up in the dishes and the laundry and the, cleaning and the vacuuming that we forget like our bodies are supposed to do other kinds of movements too. And so this like really just makes us feel human again. It's so important. And we're going to talk in a minute about longer term ways to like really stay centered in ourselves. And we'll come back to this idea of movement. The next one is read or listen to an audiobook of your favorite genre, or watch your favorite movie or TV show that's not a kid show, right? Just like with music that we talked about very beginning, we are usually like surrounded by kids stuff, right? Kids books. We're reading this. I have read Chicka Chicka Boom Boom so many times that I have that thing memorized. One of my favorite books from 2024 is a kid's book that I randomly picked up at my kids' book fair. It's a Nightmare Before Christmas book set to the tune of Kidnap the Sandy Claus. It's the cutest thing, but it's a kid's book, right? We're watching all the kids' movies. We have Bluey on constantly, which Bluey is good for the soul, let me tell you. But you have to connect with those things that are you, right? My husband can't just be watching, Bluey and all the Disney shows all the time. Like, he needs time to watch his Star Wars shows and watch his, like, I don't know, because I don't usually watch those with him. We watch together, my husband and I. We watch Ted Lasso. We want to start watching the new, it just went across my TV, but the new Tim Allen show. We kind of want to watch that together, see what that's all about. We used to, I've been having him watch American Housewife with me, like, because that's such a funny show. And so you need those things for yourself that help you reconnect with you and the things that you love, right? I like reading my books. I like listening to my audiobooks, and so does my husband. And that really helps you maintain a sense of self when you're surrounded by the constant Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Mousecatool songs over and over again. The next one is take a moment for a hot beverage. I know there's the meme going around about how moms always have to microwave their coffee, but honestly, take 5 minutes, get the kids settled, get your coffee, and then let them know this is mommy's coffee time. 5 minutes, it's fine. Everything will be fine. It'll be okay. Obviously, you step in an emergency, like we're not just going to neglect everything, but take some time for a hot beverage. Again, this one's more about feeling human than necessarily feeling like ourselves, but even doing the same with a meal, enjoying a few minutes of warm food if you have a warm meal, take that time. And this one is, again, more about feeling human necessarily than ourselves. And the last one, take time for a shower or a bath. In the early stages of motherhood, adequate hygiene can feel like such a big, insurmountable goal. But regular hygiene gives us space from the kids. It sets a good example for them of taking care of ourselves. And it really just lets you take care of your body the way that you should take care of your body. If you do these simple things every day or a mix of them every day, you're going to start feeling more like yourself. You're going to start feeling more like you, who you are on the inside. It's going to really connect you to who you are. But now I want to talk about some longer term ways that you can feel like yourself again, so you can get back to your new normal. Things, you will never be normal like you were before. That's gone. Motherhood has changed that. However, you can establish a new normal that integrates all of this within to yourself so that you are one cohesive person, with motherhood just being the next part of that identity, because motherhood shifts. It goes through stages. So this is just about integrating motherhood into this new part of you and into this new normal. And it's all integrated together. So number one, get confident in your motherhood choices. Let me say that again. Get confident in your motherhood choices. Now, here's the deal. Motherhood comes with a lot of choices that many on the internet would have you believe are black or white, one or the other, right or wrong. But that's not how they work. There's so much nuance in motherhood. Things like breastfeeding or bottle feeding, cloth or disposable diapers, baby-led weaning, purees, homeschool, public school, private school. It's all daunting and it's all nuanced. Be confident in the motherhood choices that you make for you and your family. I did not know or think that I'd be sending my kids both to school this year. I did not think I'd be sending my son to pre-K. But for us in this season of life, him going to his pre-K, my daughter going to kindergarten, those were absolutely crucial and turned out to be such great choices for us. Be confident in your mothering choices. Cloth diapers were never, ever going to work for us. I am chronically ill, borderline disabled while my children were young. Cloth diapering was never going to happen. I was not going to be able to handle the load, the physical or mental load that came with cleaning cloth diapers. Disposable, it was necessary for us, right? Confidence in your motherhood choices, even in the face of criticism or opposition or differing opinion, allows us to align our motherhood with our values, therefore integrating our motherhood into our whole selves, integrating our mothering selves into our whole selves, right? Get confident in your motherhood choices. Number two, for these longer term ways to feel more yourself again, build a community. It can be really easy to lose ourselves in motherhood, spend all of our time caring for the needs of our children, caring for our household, neglecting our social needs. I would encourage you, though, to build a community of people offline and online, because the exhaustion that keeps us hiding away is also keeping us isolated. Consider mom groups, MOPS, consider meetups at the park. Consider, if you're a person of faith, connecting in your churches or your synagogues or your mosques or wherever you gather with people who share your faith, right? Build connections with other mothers who are at the same place in motherhood, who have surpassed you in motherhood, where you can get that advice, where you can get that listening ear. Connect with mothers who are behind you at different stages so that you can be that for them. When we do that, we become less isolated and we feel more like ourselves, and it helps support us in building confidence in our motherhood choices. Number 4 of the longer term ones, develop a journaling habit. Developing a journaling habit helps us process things, explore the early days of motherhood. Journaling helps us establish a sense of gratitude, which science has shown is really good for our health. Journaling overall is just really good for our health. Science has kind of shown that. So if you develop a journaling habit, it's going to help you kind of parse out your values, parse out why you've made choices you have, which gives you confidence in those choices. And that really goes a long way in keeping you integrated into your whole self after becoming a mom. The next one, the last one in this longer term one, I am actually going to add one more, but the last one is develop an exercise routine. Moving your body frequently and sustainably lets you feel connected to yourselves and that present moment. Now, this is the key. It needs to be sustainable for you. I am not going to go start marathon training today. It is not going to happen. What I do is I do small, consistent, intentional movements. That's how I move my body. This reduces stress, lets you go back to our babies refreshed, ready to conquer motherhood, right? Establish an exercise routine that is frequent and sustainable for you, for your body. The last one is really establish your hygiene routine. Whether it's a long routine, a short routine, get a hygiene routine that keeps you clean, that keeps you comfortable. That's a good example for your children. It's just so important for us. So if you get a long-term hygiene routine, it's going to make a massive difference for your life. So as we wrap up, let's talk about, why does all this matter? Why does it matter if moms are feeling overwhelmed or like they've lost themselves in motherhood? As I shared earlier, women often feel like their identity has been reduced down to being just a mother. And no one is just a mother. Like, that's not a thing. Even if a woman does nothing but stay home and care for her children and mothering for the entirety of her mothering career, or at least the time when the kids are minors, the role she plays is so important that it's still not just a mother. Like, that's not a thing. Just doesn't do it justice. But because women often feel invisible and isolated and unappreciated after becoming mothers, it can be really easy to lose sight of who they wanted to be, who they wanted to be when they were little girls. What did they want to grow up to do and change the world? And so when women are able to feel human, feel like themselves, they find their voice again. These negative feelings of depression, isolation, resentment, they get reduced. And also those women are better able to care for their families, better able to serve their communities, better able to consistently connect with their partners. They are better able to do the jobs that they set out to do, right? So when they have their voice again, they are able to be strong and bold in their motherhood, in their careers, in their community, right? They end up raising happy, confident, connected kids because they're happier, more confident, and more connected, right? So engaging in all these activities, whether the day-to-day ones or the long-term ones, helps moms plug into the things that made her who she was before she was a mother and integrate them with this new mothering self, right? It allows her to connect with parts of herself that are going to stay with her when she's out of the initial stages of motherhood and she's in late stage motherhood, as in her children are out of the house. She's an empty nester. She's still a mom when that happens, but she's in late stage motherhood at that point. She has less hands-on to do at that point. So So I would really encourage you, if you are a mom watching this, take some of these, start integrating them in your daily life, whether you already feel connected to yourself or you're trying to reconnect with yourself. Build these into your life so that you can stay rooted in who you are, and share this post with another mom who might need the encouragement and the reminder. Share this with a new mom who's new to motherhood and is trying to navigate these early seasons. Send it to a mom just because, right? And if this resonates with you or someone you know, I want to let you know that my program is designed specifically for this. My program is designed to help moms overcome burnout and find work-life balance without losing themselves or sacrificing their family in an ideal way that works for their family. So let's connect, right? My Burnout and Balance program might be just what you're looking for, but let's connect. You can find me on Instagram, Threads. You can find me on Facebook. I'm just not over there very much, but you can find me on Instagram and Threads, and I would love to connect with you. Comment below if you're watching this on YouTube, and let's connect, because I would love to build this community with you and help you navigate these days of motherhood with the best of intentions. So I look forward to seeing you again in a future Cultivating Cadence episode. There will be some interviews coming soon with moms of all ages, with kids in all stages, and I can't wait to share those with you, and more from me about just motherhood, burnout, work-life balance, how to have a mothering life that you love without losing yourself or sacrificing your family. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.